What's happening, folks? So, I guess I'll address this. I'm just getting off work, so if I look a little busted, it's because I'm tired. I work overnight, so I'm just getting off. But there's a couple of things that I gotta address, just because it's something that's going around, not just YouTube, but like my kids said it a couple of weeks ago, and I ain't really paying no attention because I corrected it on the spot and I just left it how it is. But it seems that there's for the last, I don't know, 10 years, it feels like, maybe a little bit longer. I could be off. It could be shorter, could be longer, or it could be right on point. But for the last 10 years that I can remember, there's been a steady downgrade of intelligence, upgrade of knowledge, because there's information at the touch of a button, right, on our smartphones and devices and all of that stuff. So you have an overabundance of information to yield into something that positive and righteous and right on. It's leaving, and because they're bridge enough older people, they can't try to bridge the gap, or just not listening and not talking, or if there's that people like, because I'm 35, so I'm 28, maybe that middle ground doesn't really reach the people younger than 28. And look at the elders age, anything, they've already lived. They that that taught them the things that they know because a lot of it is, and most of the elders. So you can use data and statistics to say that this person is wrong all you want to, but it's kind of hard to tell somebody that something is wrong when they lived it, regardless of what that is. So with that being said, I don't want to go into no crazy things like duality and stuff like that. It's not crazy, but you know what I mean. I don't want to go super into depth like that. I want to keep it simple. For everything that you believe in, uh, the those opposite reasons are why you don't believe in that next thing. So for if you're a Christian, for everything you believe in as a Christian, um, those same rules apply in reverse as to why you don't believe in any other religion. If you're not religious, then those same rules apply to why you, and the opposite to why you are spiritual and not religious. Um, but the problem is people like to try to make things black and white, and nothing in the world is black and white. And if nobody's told you that, let me be the first to tell you that nothing in this world is black and white. Nothing in this world is either or good or evil or anything like that, because there's so many different variations. There's nerds and geeks that like to talk about, I call them nerds and geeks. They like to talk about infinite simultaneous realities that are going on right now. There's a bunch of yous that are doing the same thing at the same time, in another nerdy way of saying that is it your person, they experience it differently. So the both of y'all can get pulled over by a police officer at the same time for the same crime, have the same record, and get the same type of officer. But because you're this type of person, that type of person, y'all experiences are going to be different, getting the same exact thing. So why do I say that? There's so many around, and one thing that I hate is when and yes, I do hate it. I hate when people attack older folks for being Christians. It really irks me because without them having the discipline to be able to stick to some of the principles, of the Bible and stuff like that, there's a lot of people that just would not be here. They would, those older folks would not have made it through the era that they made it through in order for them to procreate have your mama and daddy, and then your mama and daddy have you. And I think a lot of people, like to skip over that because they like to look at history with the lenses that they have right now. And it's just an aggravating thing, like when people say, for the love of I mean, for the money is the root of all evil, when it's the love of money is the root of all evil. And then they'll say, well, it's not the love of money because I love money and I'm not evil. Well, you just haven't been presented with the right type of opportunity. It just depends on what you're presented with. The right amount of money, you're going to do whatever it is that you need to do. Sometimes you may make it public, sometimes you might not. Everybody has a price. You just don't know what that price is unless it's presented to you. So money can make you do a whole bunch of things, just like poverty can make you do a whole bunch of things. Just like hunger can make you do a whole bunch of things. There's a lot of things in this world that are twisted and sick and of the lowest vibration, and any other thing you want to say, that will make you do a lot of things in order to reverse the situation, which is why I have certain talking points. Your talking points are kind of null and void to give somebody, what they need or advice or something in that area, because you're not covering everything. And it's not that there's no way to cover than just making something black and white, making something either or, telling somebody, you know what this is, and they say yeah, and you be like, no, that's and then the caveat, the catch-all is to say, well, this is my opinion, and my opinion is, well, sometimes there's people that want your opinion and sometimes it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, even right now, I'm giving you my opinion, but I'm also giving you some facts. And the facts is not quantified by statistics. The facts is what you see in front of your face. Uh, and this is why I speak so much about things that are kind of like the cornerstone to whatever your reality is. And it's just because you don't pay attention to how cornerstone. When brick masons will tell you about the cornerstone, that one brick is the pivotal brick, or that one cornerstone is the pivotal cornerstone in that whole house being built. But if you're staring at the house, you don't know which brick is the cornerstone. You don't know which one is the pivotal one. So I tend to focus and look for the pivotal thing, the why. The why is the cornerstone of every problem, every solution, every action, every outcome, everything you can possibly think of that you have to deal with in this life. On the negative side, on the positive side, and in the neutral side, there's a cornerstone to it, and it's the why. Once you know the why, every other question, you get the answer to every other question. So you seek the why first, and then you can figure out everything else. Everything else will just pretty much pop up there. So why do people have uh these I'm not going to say issues, but why do people have these talking points where they give you the black or the white? It's because that's just right. The why is they operate for a different mode. When I say travel to other countries, the tour, oh, they'd be like, oh, have you been to Africa? And you go to the 5 places that everybody goes, and that's the place that they're going to name. If you don't see a problem in that, when somebody says, do you travel? And you say yes, and you name a place overseas that everybody is that, yeah, there's all types of modes of transportation, but you never seem to mention any of the places. Talk about Dubai, people talk about Germany, people talk about this place, but they don't talk about the specific places and based upon attention. And if they can't get attention, then they have an issue. So when people say, oh, I'm not doing this for this, I don't care what nobody thinks. Watch the people who say I don't care what nobody thinks. I care what people think. I do. That's why I watch what I say. I don't say a whole bunch of stupid stuff out of my mouth. I'm not always offensive. I'm offensive when I need to be, when I feel like I need to be. I can feel like I'm in the right, and I'm offensive then. But other than that, I'm not, because I care about what other people think. I care about what other people say to me. Words do hurt, no matter what somebody tells you. If they didn't hurt, then people wouldn't get punched in their face over words. It's amazing how you skip over that. Oh, words don't hurt me. I don't give a, bleep bleep what you say and all of this stuff. And then you say one slick thing out your mouth and now they at your throat trying to punch you in the face. Thought words didn't hurt. I thought I could say whatever it is I wanted to say. And this is the problem when you have a lot of yes men around you, or echo chambers where you don't want to hear anything that's challenging whatever it is that you're saying, and you can't take that. When you say you can take good dialogue, okay, well, I'll give you some dialogue. I don't agree with what it is that you're saying. So now let's have some dialogue about it. Oh no, block that person. Yeah, with you, that there's a be said in that. Just being that you say, we come to a point of the person relationships, and people have lost sight or that was you casting out there into the atmosphere. Those people who like to use that, who like to overuse that word universe and energy and all of those other types of things. Those are it's cliche keywords and phrases that people say that will allow you to be able to depict what it is they're going to say as a whole and in totality. Their whole points by just a little phrases. You can tell when they're being a parrot, when they're just regurgitating something that somebody else says, and they ain't even bother to pick up a book. They didn't bother to go do no research themselves. They didn't bother to sit back and look and see how life shows it to them. And that's another reason why I always jump to talking about blind people and how they process information way different because they can't see anything. And I'm talking about blind people from birth. And because they can't see anything, the way they process that information is pure. They're not deceived by the things that's shown in front of their face. So they ain't deceived by facial expressions. They ain't deceived by, you pulling up in a certain type of car, or you having a certain type of house, or you dress in a certain type of way, or you carry yourself like this, or your body language says this. Nah, they have a pure understanding of everything that comes out of your mouth. I spent a lot of time with blind folks that were blind from birth, and you would be amazed at the conversation we had. But that's the experience that gave me this outlook to understand that everything in this world is not black and white. There are a few things in this world that are black and white. Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Muslims. There's nothing wrong with any of the religion. There's nothing wrong with it. It just depends on how it's used. Who can pervert things and use them in a negative manner and use that power in that thing and their influence and lead people in the wrong direction. And then there are people who can do good with it. But the problem with society is whenever there's something done good with something, it will never get the recognition that it should. I'm not saying it doesn't get recognition. It just doesn't get as much as it should. And because it doesn't get as much as it should, that's why it looks like things are negative. If you're a Christian and you're doing positive things, nobody's going to pay attention to you. You can go out and feed the homeless. You can help people get into get houses. You can pay their rent, pay their light bills. You can get single moms cars so they can get back and forth to work. You can give people jobs. You can give people money, and they will not bring any attention in your direction. But you do one thing wrong, and that's it. And now they're not just going to blame you. They're going to blame you and your religion and the fraternity that you go to and the color of your skin and the ethnic background that you have and your ancestors and the group over there that you used to be affiliated with. That's what's going to happen. That's where we're at nowadays. Responsibility gets cast in 100 different directions, and they're all to stuff that doesn't even really matter. Has nothing to do with why the person did something wrong. So when you start that, when they say, oh, and they identify you by your religion, your skin color, your race, and your ethnic, they identify you like that because you did something wrong, but they won't identify you like that when you did, when you gave a $500,000 to charity. Now you're Robert Jenkins the third, but you do something wrong, and now you're Robert, or your brother Robert, or your pastor Robert Jenkins. We're gonna jump on this. You are how people can take words and construct a whole narrative about things going on, and now they done cast that out for you under it. Just listen to them. Don't speak back to them a whole bunch. Two eyes, two for a reason. Everything you need to know will come out perfect. So they want it, and then there'll be that one little line in there that'll change the direction. Don't be paying it attention, because most people who talk like that, they don't realize the things that they're saying, talking and contradicting themselves, or saying two things that mean the exact same thing, and they think it means something different. And then they'll go back and say a whole different phrase and change the whole meaning, or try to anyways. You pay attention to people like that. So understand, in this world, I'm trying to make sure I keep this under 20 minutes. Understand, nothing in this world is black and white. Nothing. I say very few things, but even in saying that, I'm sitting here thinking about what is black and white. I think the only thing that's black and white, if I can uh, take back that last line, the only thing that I know is black and white is death. You're either dead or you're not. And even then, people can be brain dead and their body can still be living. So let that sink in a little bit. I'll holler at y'all later.